Hello, we are Sornia. We are grateful to have this opportunity to have further exchanges with you, sharing our thoughts and our own reactions and our experiences, or how we are seeing things moving forward, being a united group. You, all of you, and all of us. It's this moment that we have where once a week we take the time to connect in that very human way that allows us to say more for your benefit. But to be perfectly honest, most of what we say and we use in words, you already know. So it's just an opportunity for you to have a more concrete way of accessing this information. But you are all connected in an even greater way to us, but to Source. And this is what we want to share with you today about that connection and how it has expanded and increased, I guess, and intensified in its frequency. So everything we share with you, if it feels right, just know that you already know this. And even if it doesn't, you have it stored in your soul's memory. And that soul memory has all that information that you need from all of the nighttime adventures that you have with us, your own personal experiences that you are having on Earth in your human form, and just everything. There's so much stored there, and you have access to all of that as you go through your lives. So we've talked to you about the barriers that were placed in your world by these forces that we call the dark. Just for simplicity, we call the dark. And the dark that manifests through human beings, or sometimes non-human beings, that have very slowly but methodically placed into position, if you will, various forms of blocks and barriers to the human potential of knowing itself in that expanded way as an expanded being, that eternal being having that a human experience. So we're coming back to that. We, all of us. So what you have all been doing, and we've talked about this, is you have all been working steadily at the experiences in human form that have given you greater insight, communicating that with us. And we do our magic here, that we, meaning you and us, in that plane that you call the astral plane. And we are able to connect the dots, but in a more profound way. We're able to see the frequencies and how they match. And that's increased. That's where we're going here today. So everything that has been done, in particular in the last 6 months on Earth, by everyone, but in particular by those of you who have followed either us or others that are light beings sharing the information, you have all increased the volume, if you will, of your frequency, and therefore your connection to not just to us, Sornia, and all of us here, but to actually to Source. Now, you're saying, wait a minute, what do you mean by that? That connection was always there. It's never not been there. It's always been the same frequency. It's never not been that. What has been the falsehood that you have believed is that it hasn't been, that your consciousness hasn't been evolved, that you don't have that connection, that you have to somehow evolve to a place through different experiences to increase that connection. That connection is never gone. It's always there, and it's always strong and vibrant and full of what you call life and everything, and God and source and everything. It's always there. That's who you are. What we want to specify here, because it's important how you view this, is that your knowing it is what has increased. You're knowing it, you're feeling it, you're sensing it, your experience of it, that connection, you are more aware of it and what it means for you and how it's manifest in your world, how it manifests through you, how it manifests through others. You are beginning to, quote unquote, see it. So when we use the word see, it's more of a sensing at this point. So back to what we wanted to say. You have always had this connection that is deep, that is profound, that is vibrant, alive. It is never cut off. It's absolutely impossible. And some of you know this, but there are many who are teaching that you want to raise your consciousness. What they really should be saying is your consciousness is raised. What you want to do is understand what has prevented you from knowing your true self and that evolved consciousness that is already there. You are all accessing it to a greater degree and understanding it. Therefore, what we're here to share with you, and we want you to focus on this and kind of change your perspective on it. You don't need to do anything to raise that consciousness because it's already risen. What you have been doing and will continue to do is dissolve, eradicate, transmute, transcend, however you want to see it, those energies, those barriers, those blockages to knowing that in human form. That's the difference. And many of you might be going, shaking your heads, well, we know that, Sornia. But many on your planet who call themselves enlightened beings and spiritual teachers are teaching it in the reverse. And we want you to teach this to people because you are the example and you are the teachers and the healers and all of that. Teach them with your words and your actions, but you already are that. There is nothing you need to do to be more than that. But what you are doing is evolving your own ability to transcend the barriers and limitations that have been placed in the human physical form, the barriers that have been erected on your planet, outside of your planet, all the areas that have prevented you from knowing the truth of who you really are. That's what's shifting. That's what's going on. And that is happening. We know it because so many of you are coming to us and sharing your experiences on a day-to-day basis of seeing things from a different perspective, seeing things in a different way, and working with the energies, both of your source of who you are and those energies of the limitations of the human experience, both the physical and the things that are outside of you, these barriers. So it's important for you to know that there is nothing that you need to do to improve what is already perfect, okay? What is already exactly the way it needs to be, because you are from source. What you are doing is remembering that. And you're remembering it by removing all of the limitations, the energetic, emotional barriers, the seeing. You are doing all of this. You see things differently. It's really quite kind of a different way of looking at it. So we want you to do that. We want you to share that with others, because think about it. If you think of yourselves as already being that expression of source, right? Some would say God or the divine, doesn't matter. It's all the same, that you already are that. What's there to improve on? Nothing. What you are doing and why you have joined the forces of, we'll say good here, joined the forces of good is to be part of these groups that will slowly but surely dissolve those barriers and those limitations in your own physical bodies that have prevented you from knowing yourselves. So we know that many of you are dealing with physical symptoms. We talked to you in the few weeks ago about your solar plexus and your heart chakra. The solar plexus is opening up more in the physical form. It's happening. And it's happening. We see that where you are speaking your truth with calmness, with certainty, but you're speaking your truth. But many of you are trusted warriors and foot soldiers, are dealing with some physical expressions of limitation and maybe questioning why. Why now? What's going on? We can't give you all the answers, but we can tell you that there is a purpose here that you all signed up for. And the purpose is to understand the energy, emotional, and the physical energy of illness, of disease, of however you want to term this imbalance that you are experiencing. It's not real ever. So what a blessing it is that you all have this opportunity at this time to be able to have these imbalances, because what you are doing, you may not be consciously aware of this, but you are understanding what those expressions are, where they're coming from, and how they are truly an illusion. And many of you may argue, no, if I feel really sick, of course you feel sick. Or I really have pain. Of course you have pain. Let yourself have these experiences. Do not resist them. Take a step back and let yourself have them. Ask to be guided to what it is you need to know. We say this all the time. We're going to repeat it because you're going to see, we anticipate this, many more of you taking on the burden, you may say, we consider it a privilege, of various forms of imbalances that are going to cause many of you to feel as if you've done something wrong. How is it that I have followed all of the teachings of Sornia and others that are out there, and yet this happens to me? And you may be upset with us when we say this to you, but it is a blessing, because through your experience with your imbalance and you being able to stay open and receptive to where it's leading you, you will find your way. You don't have to do a lot. Yes, you can meditate, or you can write or journal, or all those things that help you to stay grounded. You could take your medications. You could do all of that. Whatever you feel called to do, do it. But you will find that over time, the answer will come to you when you stay open and receptive. Of course, stay out of fear. You do not want to go into fear. And all of you who are experiencing these imbalances in your physical form are looking to understand the illusion that is disease. So there's a lot there. There's a lot there. And we hope that as we progress through this, we can give you more insight and more background, or how things are moving forward, just be able to help you and assist you as you go along the way. But the key here is, no matter what you are facing, or a loved one is facing, or dealing with the physical, we're not talking about anything that's outside of your own physical body at this time, yours or a loved one's. Whatever it is you're dealing with, if you choose to be afraid, then you are giving that power to whatever imbalance it is that you are dealing with. And therefore, you miss the opportunity to understand how it is an illusion, how it is false, because it is not your natural state. So this is a big thing for those who've taken this on. We're going to ask those who maybe did not take this on for whatever reason. It doesn't mean that you're not evolved or whatever. You are doing other things. So those of you who are not dealing with physical ailments of any kind or imbalances and are hearing this are going, wait a minute, well, why wouldn't I do that? I'm a warrior. You're a warrior in other ways. So please, you who are not dealing with this, how you can assist is by being present for those who are dealing with it, reminding them of the power of love and also the power of fear, what fear can do, and take it moment by moment. For those of you who can do that, taking it moment by moment, you'll get your answers, but it will be a process here. And you may come and go with things. We don't know. Some of you have really bitten off quite a bit and are questioning whether or not it was so wise to do that. Believe me, we wouldn't have agreed, you or us, to you doing something that you weren't capable of doing. So it's an important time. It's a lovely, lovely time. Even though you may disagree, we're going to insist that you look for that and look for the blessings and find them and enjoy them and keep asking for guidance. But don't do this in a way that you are consumed and obsessed by finding a way to heal and finding out what it is. Live your lives. Live your lives. Ask for guidance. Be in the present moment. I know we talk about that. You hear that. But what does it mean to be in the present moment? Be there. Find your way of being there. Breathe through what it is when panic comes in or fear or frustration. Just breathe through it. Allow yourself a little bit. I mean, you are still evolving that human form because ultimately that's what this is all for, is evolving the human form so the human form knows itself in its true state. What we talked about at the beginning, because you are of source, you are of God, you are of the divine, and that is your physical form is and can be an expression of that fully, and then you are in your natural state. This is incredible. But ponder this. Send us any questions you have. It's just send them mentally or send them however you feel, but have that courage. Most of you are. Those that didn't have the courage probably won't even hear these messages. It's not for them. And again, everyone has their journey, and we know that, and you know that. We're excited. We're excited because we see how your energy systems in your bodies are opening up and moving past, or transcending, I guess is a better word, the limitations that have been there placed by your own limiting beliefs. So the heart chakra is so open. And you're helping others to open their heart chakra. And then the solar plexus is doing much better. Remember, when you speak your truth, we're going to go to the solar plexus. When you speak your truth and you are confident and you do not feel a victim and you're speaking your truth, that is reinforcing the energy that the solar plexus needs to be healthy and to be in alignment and balanced. So speaking your truth in a quiet, calm way. Again, don't be stuck. Don't be obsessed. Know your truth. Be your truth. When we say speaking, that's what we mean. Be that truth. Know that truth. And that's allowing the solar plexus to open up and flower in the way that it needs to. You are also, and we mentioned this before, working with the sacral chakra. That's a much more powerful chakra at this time in terms of it being blocked, because it's a source of creativity. It's a source of creation, right? So you could see it in your world right now. It is the energy center that is being, if you will, not literally, but figuratively fought over. So if the dark can shut down and break or completely stop the majority of the population from having the balance in their sacral chakra, they will have succeeded in their diabolical plans. So what are you doing to help that chakra is a lot of what we just talked about. There's more to it, and we'll share that more as we feel it's good for you to know or necessary. Right now, we want to hold back. Do the things we're talking about here when you maybe do your chakra clearings or balancing. Many of you do, or you're in your quiet meditation. Put your loving hands on your sacral area. And for females, we would recommend that you do this. And whether you've had children or not, it's the seat of where the womb lies, where creation is. And just imagine the power of that and bring that force in to the sacral chakra as you're going through everything. Because the sacral is going to be the one that we'll have more information on down the road, but it is the one that is being attacked and fought over right now. And so it's important to remember that as you're moving through things. Again, the dark never wins. It's silly to think that they even have a chance. So you all keep moving forward the way that you are. We're so happy to share this news with you of how well you are all doing, and that there's nothing to fear. For those of you who are dealing with illness, there's nothing to fear, but most of you already know that. And it's a wonderful time, and it's happening rapidly. So we could just keep on talking here with you forever. And we will someday. We'll all be in a conscious way with each other. We'll be able to share our stories. But we want you to know how much we appreciate every one of you. Oh, the love that you share with everyone. It's so amazing. So amazing. So thank you. Thank you all. We love you very much. We are Sornia. Goodbye.